a few minutes later, Kofi calls Ama back, and then Kofi asks, Ama, who he say? Ama, who he say? So you have this say, which I told you is now. I told you when you add ara to this, you get say, and that will be right now. So Ama, who he say? So again, we are using the to be verb for location and existence. So who he? Where are you? You are where? Say now. Oh, I didn't bring the noun here. And then Ama responds to that with mewo kemu. Mewo kemu. So again, mewo I am. And here it is being paired with mu. Now we said this mu means in or inside, right? So we have mu as in or inside. Now this mu and then ase, which is under, and then so, which is on, and then intem, which is between. All these and more in English, they are classified as prepositions, right? Prepositions. And they are called prepositions because they come before the nouns that they come with. So pre is before, preposition. So before that position. So for example, I can say the water is in the bucket. The water is in the bucket. So look at this. This is the in here. And it modifies the noun phrase that comes after. So the in comes before, right? So in the bucket. So preposition. It comes before the noun or the noun phrase that it modifies. Now, this same sentence, if we bring it to chi, we will have insuo no wo bokiti numu. Now look at where the mu is, which is the in. And where is the bucket? The bucket that it modifies. Here, the in came before the bucket. Now look at where the bucket is. Bokiti no. So for these words that are classified as prepositions in English, in Chi, they become postpositions because they come after the noun or noun phrase that they modify. So when we use the example, akwadano she mpa no ase, right? Akwadano she mpa no ase. Mpa no is the bed, right? And look at where the ase is. Ase is under. If it were in English, this ase would have come here before the mpa no. So it would have been the child is under the bed, right? The child is under the bed, so the bed would have come here, and then the under would have come here. But in Chi, it goes to the end. And you need to take note of this so that you'll be able to construct the sentences with these so-called prepositions in English in Chi well. So Ama says, me wo kamu. So kamu, the mu is in. So I am in a car. Aka kakra na medru. Aka kakra na medru. We have kakra, which is a little. Ka here means to remain. So when you say aka, you are saying it's remaining. It's left with. Kakra, a little. Na medru. We said dru means to arrive, to get to. So it's remaining a little, and then I will arrive. So it's left with a little, as in a little while, and then I'll be there. And then to that, Kofi says, you. So it's here. You, okay. Sewudra bremu. We said this se is what we use to mark if or when clauses, right? So these are if or when clause markers. And I told you we can do away with this se. As long as we maintain this it will still convey the same meaning. So sewudra or wudra means when you arrive, as in when you get here, right? Because Kofi is already at the party grounds, right? So he's saying, sewudra, when you get here, when you arrive, bremu. So we have bra here, which means come. But this is the instruction come, right? So if I'm instructing you to come over, I'll say braha, right? Braha. Let's put that here. Braha, come here. Because we have ha here as here, right? So bra means to come. We've already looked at ba, which is the regular to come. We use that to make statements. So if I want to say, for example, Kofi came here, I would say Kofi ba ha because I'm making a statement. I'm just telling you that Kofi came here. So I use the regular ba, which is to come. But if I'm issuing an instruction, come, right? Or I'm telling you about an instruction that someone else gave. So for example, if I come to you and I want to tell you that Kofi says come, right? Kofi asked me to come and tell you to come. I'll say Kofi say bra. Okay? Kofi say bra. Kofi says come. It is still an instruction, right? But if I'm just making a statement, I would say Kofi baha or me papa baha nra, right? My father came here yesterday. So here it is an instruction that Kofi is giving to Amma. So he says udra when you get here, or se udra when you arrive, when you get here. Bremu, you said mu is in or inside. So bremu is come inside. Right now, as I sit here, and this is typical, when you are in your room or your apartment and you hear a knock, kokoko, right? Kokoko, knock, knock. You can say bremu, come in, right? Bremu, come in. It is very common. So Amma says mate. We learned that mate means I've heard, as in I've heard you, right? Got it. What does it be ponono? What does it be ponono? Daso here is what we use to convey still. Still. So if I say, what dasu didi? That is, are you still eating? Let's put it here. What dasu didi? Are you still eating? What dasu jare? Are you still bathing? Are you still bathing? So if you want to convey still, you use daso. So here Amma says, what daso teben ponono? Are you still seated close to the door? He said ben means to be close, to be near, right? And he said pono is the door. The full word is epono, right? Epono, the door. And to that Kofi says there be no. We know that, right? So we have ane as yes, and we have there be as no. Me free ho. Me free ho. So this free, we said, can mean to be from. So that is why I can ask, who free he? Where are you from? And then you respond with me free Ghana, me free America, me free UK, me free Kufuridia. Okay? But we also said this can mean to leave. And that is what is being used here. So when Kofi says me free ho, this ho means there, right? So it's from a ho. But because of where it appears, we drop the initial e, right? So me free ho, I have left there. Mete mpuma kesiye nenim. Mete mpuma kesiye no enim. And when I say this faster, we merge this with that and introduce an apostrophe. So you hear this, nenim, right? So we do away with this one and introduce an apostrophe here. So you hear mete mpuma kesiye nenim, right? Mete mpuma kesiye nenim. But if you say it slower, you hear mete mpuma kesiye no enim. Now, mpuma is the window. So we have epono, which is the door, and then we have mpuma as the window. Kesiye is big, right? So if you say mpuma kesiye, you are saying a big window, right? But here, there is no here, which is the definite article. So mpuma kesiye no, the big window. Enim is the front. This actually comes from the body part enim, which is the face, right? So enim is the face, but we use the same thing to mean the front. And the same with the back. So the back of a person, as in the body parts, is a chi or a chri. But we use the same thing to mean the back of you, like behind. So Kofi says, Metempuma kesiye nenim. I'm sitting in front of the big window. And look at where the front is. It's at the back, right? Like I told you. So in English, this would be in front of the big window. So the in front of comes before the big window. But in Chi, it goes to the end of it. So the big window will come, and right after that, you have the front, enim. So, mpoma kesiye no, enim, right? So, there be, me free ho. No, I've left there. Me tempoma kesiye nenim. I'm sitting in front of the big window. Okay? And then Amma responds to that with you. Okay.